Okay, quickie here. I'm waiting for some parts, should be here tomorrow. Then I can do a little bit more, figure some other stuff out. I temporarily mounted this guy with zip ties, my heat exchanger. It fits good right about here. I'll probably take it to a friend's and have him weld bigger aluminum tabs so I can mount it to this aluminum bumper support. Just figuring out where everything goes. I have the inlet and outlet on this side, and I was trying to figure out between the small tank and the big tank what I could do here. The small tank kind of fits here, like all screwed up, it's about the size of like a little bit bigger than an orange juice or a milk crate thing, and it just sits in here all funny. By the time I get it low enough, it's too low for the pump to gravity feed, and then there's the headlight stuff, some other things, and I kicked it around yesterday. I always preach about getting a little bit done every day. Yesterday I stared at this thing locked up for more than I would like to admit, so I even posted on Sloppy. I'm like, what should I do? Like, I'm even thinking about cutting this one up and having my friend that can weld aluminum. We'll do like some crazy Tetris shape to fit in there. And then everyone's like, by the time you do that, you're gonna want a larger cooling system anyway, and we can see you down the road upgrading to a trunk mount that you can dump an entire bag of ice into anyway. And seeing as that this is like more of a fun car than it is a daily, even though you can drive this every day. I have driven it a couple days in a row and there's no problems. They're like, you got a lot of trunk space, what are you going to do with it? So I was looking at LOJ's Instagram, and he recently did a 350Z and a FX35. The 350Z has a Magnuson and the FX35 has LSA blower, and he put it in the trunk and ran them up through the frame rails and halfway inside the car. And I have 5/8 hose here, and I'm thinking to myself, I'll just stop wasting time resisting and do the trunk, and we'll figure out, I'm pretty sure a bunch of my buddies that race blower cars said if I'm going to do an ice box, the ice box should feed, lower outlet should gravity feed the pump, and the pump should go right to the brick because it's getting ice water directly. It's not ideal for street driving because you want it to hit the intercooler first, but if you're going to dump ice at all, you should go right to your brick first so it gets ice water first. So that's what I'm going to do. The other crappy thing is I have to extend my wires for my electronic throttle and my map sensor. It has a LSA 3-bar map. Imagine that right there. So it doesn't reach. That doesn't reach. Extensions are like $50. I'm like, oh, I can't imagine I'm going to take this off. I don't really want. I'll just extend these wires, but that's another little side project. The other thing I wanted to show was I just pulled it out, the belt. This is the LOJ accessory drive helper here. And one of the reasons why he has you buy the LSA pump, water pump that is that's how he mounts all of his brackets to fit the stock power steering pump. And then this goes in. See, all of these things are here for, that's for the tensioner. Let me point to it. This is for the stock accessory belt tensioner for the 6 rib. The LSA has another part of the crank that comes out and it has a 10 rib. And then this is where the 10 rib tensioner bolts to, down in here. That's what all these bolts are for. So the tensioner sits on that, the 10 rib comes out here, and then the 10 ribs on the front of this blower and everything else. Obviously I cannot fit all of that. So that's hence why this is getting done. And another reason why a bunch of the custom LSA stuff doesn't fit naturally my swap, it is very specific. So one of the neat things, since he has done 2 blower things recently, is you get rid of this toothed idler. It actually, if you saw it installed, it's pretty incredible. Maybe you guys can check out his Instagram or whatever, but it wraps everything like 90%. It's incredible all the wrap everything gets. He did a great job engineering that. So we're gonna get rid of this toothed idler, and we're gonna put this smooth blower idler on there. So it gets the back of the belt, and then you'll see it's gonna come up like almost against the water pump around this and then come back down. It gets like amazing amount of belt wrap. So, and then it's also a manual tensioner. I'm getting a belt to try tomorrow. Steven at LOJ also has the LSA on a 6.2 or something like that. Anyway, square port, but I have spacers, the adapters, but he has a thermal plate. So he gave me his belt size that fits. So I ordered a cheap one to test fitment. So it's about an 80-inch belt. We're gonna see how that goes. If it does fit good, I'm just gonna run with it for now, and I will buy like a $50 heavy-duty belt for like Goodyear, or I was looking at a bunch. Obviously, he sent me the part number for a really nice one, but I didn't want to buy that and have to send it back to Rock Auto. Those part stores don't really stock around that 80-inch belt, at least from what I could find. It was faster in the moments I had to order one on Amazon that was like 79 inner diameter, 81 outer diameter, something similar to that. So that's coming tomorrow. We're gonna see if we can get the belt on. So I wanted to do a quick update with that. I got some heater hose, I gotta get some more. I was even contemplating running outdoor gardening hose that's 5/8 because it's pretty robust and extremely cheap. And I think it would almost do a better job than the rubber hose. So there's a lot going through my mind. I'm gonna swap this pulley out quick with the blower one and check some stuff out, see how it goes. One thing I'm pretty sure I gotta cut the zip tie that holds my water line and push that back, get it out of the way, extend my wires. Once the blower is spinning and running, I can update the tune and get this thing driving once I extend my wires. The water stuff doesn't have to happen at the exact same time, obviously. What's nice is once the belt is on and everything's running, I can still drive it. It's just going to be super hot temps till I get the... Well, actually, it's starting... We're skipping fall again, and it's getting right into the 30s. So, you know, I'll be fine for a little bit. Anyway, rambling aside, that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to put the pump and the tank in the trunk and run the lines up, and maybe I'll bother Steven some more and ask him what he did. Check out how close those 45s are. Dang. So, getting there. Have not had much time at all to work on this. And also, I keep running into these... Lately, like I said, I preach about just get a little bit done. Just make a list and get a little bit done. And man, I stood here and I was like... I was just not liking how it was going, and it was holding me up. And at some point, I was like... do I just want to get this thing running with no water lines and just drop it off at my friend's shop, since I cannot weld aluminum, and have him mount the intercooler for me, because this car is nice and I don't want to do a shit job and I don't want to rush. And I was like catching myself like just holding it in place with zip ties because I couldn't I had like a bucket under it, and I don't know. I'm sure you can all relate. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna swap my idler and prepare, and maybe I'll even wrap the stock-ish belt I got from LOJ around it, see how it looks, make sure I'm clear. You know, this guy, like I said, has got to move or it's gonna get an instant death and I'm gonna get coolant everywhere. That'll be awesome. So that's where we're at, and it'll be more exciting once we get to the belt and the belt goes on. It is, with the manual setup that's very tight, it is a little bit of a pain in the ass to get the belt on, so I'm sure once I get a little bit more practice, at least I was able to get everything out of there with this thing. I thought I would, I bolted this blower on and I was like, well, now I just ruined, you know, any attempt at getting in here, but it's not that bad. I just yanked this out here in a couple seconds. The only issue is it's obviously very tight and you have to use I'm using this Allen key because you can't get the Milwaukee ratchet in there. It's flat up against the fan and some other stuff. I almost thought I would have to cut, you know, a 1/4 inch or 1 inch off of this thing to get it in there, but it's fine. Anyway, a little bit of a ramble. That's where I'm at. I'm stuck in a little things, but I'm trucking. I'm moving on. Like, if I can't figure out exactly what I want to do with these hoses, I'm just going to do the wiring and try to make that nice. Obviously, it controls my throttle. This guy, I'm going to replace totally the booster hose, and I'm probably going to go to this guy, or I might even, there's this one down here for like the valve cover vent. I might even snake it, like drill a nice hole, because it was starting to get chafed. I just threw it over this and it was starting to cut it a little bit. So what I should do is drill a nice stepper bit into there and run her over here. Actually, I think this, I gotta get it, yeah, I should put it on here. This vacuum hose goes to this hard line, goes around the back of the motor. So I should just go bloop and then go from here to here, and that'll be really nice and neat, and then nothing will be on the firewall at all. That's what I'll do. See, I'm discovering things as we go. That's pretty much all. I gotta plug this guy and then look up some other, make sure that none of my other boost sources are leaking. This guy's already hooked up to the vacuum thing. That's fine. That's where I would put my Harbor Freight boost gauge in my nice car. And I think I have everything covered as a conglomerate update. Hopefully the belt is in. I can't wait to just throw the belt on and start it and see if it makes like whiny purry noises at idle. That'll be exciting. And then I'll really be kicking myself for not doing the water stuff ahead of time. Part of me is also thinking of like getting conduit and running hard lines up the trans tunnel area. Anybody ever do that? Weigh in with your opinions below. So that's where we're at. Thanks, bye. Okay, just for fun, I barely put 2 Allen keys in there through the belt around the blower, so you can see how that's going. And it's obviously, I just threw it around some accessories to pull it tight. It does not fit, but I'm skipping the crank completely. It's jammed up against the water pump sideways. Let me get more light down in there. There you go. That's how it's going to work. Obviously, I mean, the belt is almost going to touch itself in there. It's going to be extremely nice and wrappy tight. Hopefully we don't have any issues. 50% of people tell me there's going to be issues. Other 50% says there is no issues. So I'm curious. The other people said that they had issues. I think had, you know, sloppy tensioners or some other stuff. So we'll see. It's all up in the air. I'm not asking the world of it. I'm not overdriving the bottom or anything. I know the top is kind of small, but I'm hoping with a good belt, lots of wrap. I'm not really asking for the world. All of that in combination. Hopefully no slippy slip. We'll see. I will tell you if it does, obviously. I don't give a shit. And we'll figure all the rest of that out. But I'm super excited to see if I can get that, if that guest size from Steven will fit. That will be extremely exciting. I can start it and, you know, after, well, I better get this wiring done. Maybe I'll just focus on that today while I lose sleep about the hoses. Alright. I am waiting for my belt to come in the mail today. So one thing that I said that I needed to get done was extending the wires for the electronic throttle body. And one thing I did pick up from my friends that do this, and this is how I have made it hard on myself before, is I have cut all the wires in the same spot. And what I've learned from them is if you have the room, you should stagger your cuts. Cut this one down here, cut this one up here, and then if you use uninsulated crimps, and which I actually have started using not that long ago and like them much more than the insulated ones, it takes up much less room to stagger all of them and use non-insulated and then shrink wrap them yourself. So I have, and what I mean by non-insulated is, take a look at this little dime baggie. Non-insulated crimps, really tiny, actually crimp way nicer in my opinion. And everyone's probably nodding that they understand this already, that already does it. And then I bought a pack, like a fishing container of these pre-cut tiny heat shrink tubes. So you just got to remember to put these on before you crimp. And then I'm heat shrinking them. And what I did is I have a bunch of spare wires for like Mega Squirt ECUs. Shout out EFI Source. So what I did was, this is like an IAC wiring wire. It says IAC 1A. So actually I cut it and I went like yellow to yellow. And then I moved this exactly where I need to plug it in, gave myself a tiny bit of slack. and cut the wire to fit, and then I held them all up against each other and cut many instances of the same wire. And I think I just need one more, so I'll cut that. And I'll show you what I'm doing quick. I'll cut one more wire out of here so I don't forget. Sorry if I blipped the camera there. Oh, I got a little bit of a... It's getting cold out, guys. And I noticed it's so quiet in my garage. I was 1, 2, 3. There, that's the rest of them. I noticed, I listened to some of this video. The stuff right before this, what I'm recording now. It's so quiet in my garage that like it sounds like a mouth breathing. I'm like, ugh. Ugh. I hope it doesn't translate over. Maybe I can mute it somewhat or something, but I sound like a retard. I'm like, ugh. No offense to retards, sorry. I sound like I'm sucking air. Like there's something wrong with me, like I have asthma. And I don't know why I'm choosing to highlight that so much, but that's what you're getting. That's what you're getting today. So, I'm stripping this guy. I should post these in the Amazon link too. These are like some of the baddest mini strippers, crimpers ever. I bet a lot of people have the appropriate large crimper, but this is a really nice small crimper. It crimps the hell out of these things. It's got the insulated, non-insulated, and it's even got a little blood blister makers on the end. So before we forget, let's take these pre-cuts, slide them on nice and tight. Ta-da! And then we just did the brown wire, so we'll take our extension, matches the rest. I forget who it was that was like a bunch of my friends. I talked about getting non-insulated and they're like, yeah? I can't believe you still screw around with those cheap plastic insulators that don't work, that just make your wires huge. Brown. Brown, brown, brown. Anybody watch regular car reviews? Brown, 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 brown. It goes out to you, Brian. Mr. Regular. Well, I need another tube. Need another non-insulated. And actually, I have an Amazon affiliates influencers, they call it now. I think I'm supposed to get kickbacks, maybe? That'd be nice. I didn't really read all of it or how it works. People are like, you need to do this to make more money for yourself. And I'm like, man, that seems like a lot of work. I'll just accept my fate. So now this goes over there. The other heat shrink goes over here. You grab your trusty heat gun. You give it hell. The shrink happens. You're done. And then I have to do 2 more. I have a tan, skinny guy, and a purple. And then I'm done. And then I can key the car on and actually move the throttle. With the key on, Chevys will let you do that. See if the throttle works. So maybe what we'll do is put the, I mean, you can usually hear it. It makes like a glop, glop, glop. Like you can hear that's metal slapping around. It's usually pretty apparent. And I'm just connecting the dots. So I don't foresee a bunch of issues. You never know, right? It's like when someone brings a car to the dyno and they go, what are you expecting it to make? And I go, man, I hope it makes like 50. I hope it makes like 50 horsepower. And they kind of laugh and they're like, yeah, better do better than that. And I go, you know what, dude? Some days it doesn't go. It does not go as you would expect. And 50 is what you leave with. That's what you get. You have to be ready to accept this as a possibility for today. Or else you probably should not be messing with cars. Tan. Skinny tan. Skinny little tan. I better get some little conduit for these things. Little wire sleeves, right? And now before, this is like, I do this all the time. I put these things together and never put heat shrink on. So I count this like 10 times. There's 2. There's 2. There's 2. And I tell myself, I coach myself. Matt, there's 2. You're good. There's 2 heat shrink tubes. You're good. Move on with your life. Slip this one over this. Perfect. These are like barely fit over the things. They're perfect. Really nice. The pre-cut, pre-sized. Shrinky-doo. Shrinky-doo. See, as I explained earlier, I was having a little bit of analysis paralysis when I should be working on this. I had this to do, but I wouldn't do it. My brain wouldn't let me just finish the simple task. See, now, when I get my belt and I throw my belt on, I'm done with my belt, and I can start the car. And I can, like, hear if it makes sweet blower noises at idle and make sure my tune-up is at least okay to fire it. But I was just sitting, doing nothing, staring at not wanting to run water lines for whatever reason. Anyway, I hope you can all, I know a lot of you will. I know a lot of people that watch this stuff struggle with motivation, and I think that they always say that I do motivate them, so we'll have a little group therapy here. You know, sometimes I'm like, man, I don't really know what I need to do or want to do next, and it happens. It even happens to your fearless retard. I said retard again. There's plenty of stuff I do that's dumb as hell, I'll admit. As I ramble and put shrink tubing on a wire. This is the last one. And then I only have 3 to do the map sensor. And then we're hustling right along. The map is so close, it's so annoying that I have to waste all of the things to do this. I stripped that one too far. Oh well, I will leave it go and the heat shrink will take care of it. No sense cutting it down and making all the wiring angry. She'll be fine. Purple and purple. Here we go. Send this to my buddy Troy Baum at Race Wires. Be like, yo, I did a nice job. Look at me. He'll be like, who are you? What did you do with Matt? I used non-insulated and shrink wrapped them in a staggered offset so they don't take up a giant physical chunk of the... He'll be like, seriously, where's Matt? I'm calling the police. Alright. Yep, this one where the wire's a little bit too far, we'll just pull it down a little bit. And it would be nice if I have some leftover wire loom. I don't know what I called it earlier in the video, something weird. Conduit, I think I called it? Like, oh yeah, look at that. That's nice. See how all these are offset and non-insulated, and they take, it almost looks like nothing happened. And you can see I experimented with a different size. This green one is a little bit different size, a little bit bigger. Do I have conduit? This is nice. Let me do a trick here and just spin it. Try to organize the wires. And maybe I'll electrical tape it once or twice. Oh man, this is sweet. Yep, one's a little bit long. But other than that, I did a really nice job, I think. Congratulate myself. No one's here, so I'm going to congratulate myself. It's important, guys. Important to reward yourself. I should probably tape it. This stuff. I should buy one of those tools. They sell those plastic tubing tools to just whoop, slide everything in the tubing. See, it made it a little bit big. And that's just the struggle, right? I used up all of my smaller, I had a ton, like I bought a roll of this really small shrink tubing to hide a bunch of stuff once. And I used it like all up. Do I have conduit here. Conduit, I keep calling it that. I have wire loom, but it's huge. It's huge. What I should probably do is just nip this. Make sure I'm not cutting anything else. Nip this, put a little bit bigger. I'll buy another like mixed pack of loom. I can loom this in between the, so it looks pretty by the blower. These wires are actually bigger too. These signal wires are pretty small, like the not power wires for the motor. A bunch of these are kind of really thin, and these are all a little bit thicker, extra Mega Squirt wires I had laying around for pinouts. Come on. You're doing it wrong. I do it a different way. It works way better. Anyway. Give me a break. Come on. You guys hate this shit or what? Just go to your home. Why don't you go to your home? Whew. Wonder if, nah, it's not really worth it. I'm like, I could probably slide it down. Yeah, all I have left is like, is this stuff. I use all of the small. That's not true. There's a little bit of small here, but it doesn't really fit over. Can I get it over? This is like the last bit I have. Can I get it over this? And then tape it? Act like it looks nice? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm getting away with it. A little bit of black electrical tape will really improve my situation, I bet. Tape the whole thing all super ugly. Yeah, that actually, it fits in there nice. See, staggering, I'm really cut down on the size. Almost the same size. Man, if I have another piece that small, oh, I got this. I got this one. This one's oily. And it's hard. Like it's been in an engine bay. It's even split there. Six extra pieces. Man, this one's extra crispy. Just break it. Maybe I'll just do tape for the filler. Hopefully no one will notice. Not like 1,000 people on the internet will see it. That'll be fine. That's what we'll do. I'll go get my tape. Alright, the magic. I'm going to push this down a little bit. I'll leave this fairly exposed at the end. Throw my tape on it. Call it conduit 6 more times. See if it triggers anybody. I wonder if that guy... You guys been paying attention to that Mike guy? That like seems like he gets drunk and belligerent and then makes comments on my videos. He's like, everything smokes and this guy blows everything up. What's funny is I have videos where stuff blows up and he doesn't comment on them. He posts on videos where stuff runs great. And he's like, you guys are idiots. This guy revs your motor. He's just revving it. And I'm like, I think I'm like the only retard that doesn't douche rev everything. I don't really like free revs. Don't really get anything from it. Anyway, this guy, super upset. I posted a bunch of his hilarious slur. You can read this. You can hear the slurring of his speech through the text. It's so hard to understand what the point he's trying to get across because it makes no sense. It's that. I mean, I feel bad for him. I don't know what he's going through that he needs to If you can take it out on me, what my buddy Shannon Taylor, if you got hate in your heart, let it out. That's what he says. He says that. It's funny as hell. Nice guy, Shannon. Alright, we got this taped up. Used my leftover wire loom. It's junky. We got like 3 or 4 pieces of it. We got tape on the rest of it. No one will know. Hopefully you guys don't call the police. And the wiring police don't come over here and arrest me. That's nice. That's nice. I say it is. So it must be. I bet I can put this under the snout. Don't I have room? Oh man. That's a lie. That's a joke. There is kind of room. Not for the connector though. What oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah. That's nice. And we'll plug it in. And then I don't have to do anything else. I got my fuel line connected. I can place the camera, we can key the car, and see if the throttle body works. Let me move the camera. Funny thing to mention, the camera's face detection thing was like trying to autofocus on the throttle, because it like picked up that like it was almost a face. Anyway. I moved my seat's a mess because I'm doing some junk with the ice tank in the back now. Let's just it sounds like it's normal. Check the I'll check my footage quick. It sounds like I didn't screw anything up. Sweet. Okay, we're going to do the map sensor next. And for this one, I'm going to use the heat shrink solder shrink wrap glue all-in-ones. I only have 3 here to do. To go to the map, the other side of the intake manifold, and the hat of the blower. So we're going to do the same thing, get these going, and then hold the wires in my mouth and talk funny. Cut this one here, cut this one here, and cut this one back here. And then we will strip this one here, and this one here, and this one here. Very skinny wires for the map. Anyway, these are pretty neat. Lately, these have been getting pretty popular. We posted, I hate to sound all hipster with you for a second, but that's just how it's going to come out. And that might be how it is. And we posted about these on Sloppy a while back. I had asked about them. They're pretty neat. They, probably seen them a lot on Facebook. They've been going around quite a bit. You can get these from a lot of different places, but super high temperature, like silicone-based, soft shrink wrap to take the heat. Low temperature solder, glue, and all of it built in. So what you do is you put this guy on. You gotta have a pretty good heat gun, I assume, for this. My heat gun will start fires, so it's always been a beast. But what you want to do is overlap those wires, obviously, and then you heat the center of this. Can be a little bit of a challenge, especially since I'm going to be holding it. So sometimes what I like to do is jam the wires together in a way that they can't slide past each other. Yeah, I just jammed them into each other. And now I can kind of hold it remotely. I turn it on super hot. Try to line everything up. Oh, the wire's already sliding out. Maybe I'll just shrink the ends quick so it can't go anywhere. And then hit the center hard. Yep, solder's starting to let go. You'll see it wick into the wires. And then that's when you can quit. There it goes. And then you actually have to let this cool off for a little bit. If you don't wait long enough, they will pull right out of each other. And if you let it cool and it's bent at a 90-degree angle, it's obviously going to stay there. So you want to get it as straight as possible. And then if I can. I blow on it quite a bit. And then that's it. You can see it's totally soldered in there. It's wicked up into the wires. They are glued. And everything is a mint. Shrink wrapped, glued. So this is shrink. This is like a weather seal. This is the solder joint. This is the weather seal and the shrink again. The only thing that's kind of annoying is they're clear, so you can tell when they melt. So they look ugly in some instances where you're going to see wires, but they do work. Lately I've been putting them on a bunch of things where you only want to do it once kind of thing. I did it on the, this wiring harness came with like a really funny oil pressure sensor sending unit plug. And I just wanted to put like a really cheap $15 Amazon oil pressure sensor replacement on here because my oil pressure wasn't working. And I figured why not fix it for 20 bucks. And I used these in the back of the engine and it worked out great. It's on the behind the blower, you can see it. Just crawl on back there and take a gander. So we'll connect these guys quick. Probably the same routine. I'll try to shrink the end quick because I have never bought those helping hands a day in my life when I should have owned them 15 years ago. So what we'll do is I'll try to heat shrink the top. Okay, so that wire's getting held. Now I can just annihilate the center. Wire can't slip out. Yep, there goes the solder. Shrink the end. Give it a once over. Straighten it out. Shut the gun off. Put it not on a piece of plastic. It'll fucking melt right through. Excuse me. Yep, it's good. Done. We'll do it one more time and then we'll do it 3 more times. How's that sound? Yeah, they come in like packs like this. A couple bucks. I haven't found any really big packs of them yet. But they are really nice. By the time you buy all the material, and I mean those pre-cuts and crimps are pretty nice, but these are, you know, really nice also. Hell of a contender. Set fire to the rags in the fender. Let's jump right into it. Get my hand out of there. There it goes, wicked up into the wires. Shrink the end. Balance the heat gun and the open bumper. Cool. Now I have stuff everywhere. So I will try to go over to this side. I have quite a mess going on. What I'll do is pull 3 of these and try to keep them in my mouth. But I feel like I'm gonna knock this container over and spill them all over the place. So now you can see I cut the wires all different heights. So they're gonna be different heights here, and that hopefully will match up great over here. And you can see how it doesn't make one giant blob. Spaces out the blob. Okay. Enough chit chat. Let's get it done. Then I'm done with my wiring. Except for the pump. I didn't wire the pump. I didn't run the lines yet. All I really want to do is spin this blower and get it running. And then that will be a huge motivator for me to do the water lines, and hopefully my brain will clear up and everything else will be present itself through magic or osmosis. Alright, let's spin up. It's going to be the gray one. Let's triple check. I got the gray one. Gray. Get my heat gun over here. Drag it on that mint bumper. Move the water pump. Gray, gray, gray. Just keep saying it. I have like no short-term memory. Gray. Gray. It sucks to screw this up and have to start all over. Gray. We're done. We're kind of there. Let's just get her. There goes the solder. The solder. I've soldered it. People flip out about that stuff. I gotta get this past the tripod. Why do I have... My cable is like too tight. And I can't set this bitch down anywhere to start a fire. There we go. There we go. Yank that thing over here. Sweet. We cooled off? We're cooled off. We're done. She's done. 2 more. What do I have here? I want the orange. I want to do orange next. That's what we are going to do. Spinny, spinny. Hand out of the way. This heat gun's hot. My hand is out of the way. My wires are still good. Excellent. Let's hold her still. Put this guy down again, out of burn victim central. Smells too, it smells like burning plastic. It smells like it's melting right through this stuff, but it is not. It is actually not as crappy as you would think it is. It's fairly amazing. Oh, still hot. You gotta really wait. I kind of pulled it apart. There we go. A couple times it did that and I thought they were total garbage when it was just me being impatient. Imagine that. Still good? Oh yeah, okay. I'm pulling on it pretty good. And it is not moving now. Always scary. You're like, this stuff sucks. I hate my life. I have to redo. Green. Green and green. It's good to make sure, you know? Okay. In. On. Grab the heat gun. There goes the solder. It's all over. Cap the ends. Hold her still. Yeah, if you don't blow on it, it's cold out here. If you don't blow on it, it takes a long time for the temperature to come down inside that insulated connector. So if you pull this, it'll come right apart, and then everything's screwed because this glued stuff stays on there. It glues onto the wire pretty good. You gotta wait. You gotta wait and wait and wait and wait some more. You can't blow on it like I was cheating because I had it out of the car. But it's looking like it's getting cloudy because it's so cold and the temperature is dropping. Yep, hard as a rock. Sealed. Perfect. Okay, so there. My map sensor reaches pretty far now. We will twisty-do a little bit. Get some of this guy back in here. See, I had a LS3 style map, like 128 kPa stock with the engine, the van and everything. I actually didn't think the vans... This is a Savannah van engine, 4.8. I didn't think that they came with a 128. My assumption was it was a 100, and that was wrong. Because I put in 100, I put in like a stock scale, and it always read really low. Like, I'm like, man, my intake can't be that crappy. I must have a wrong map sensor figure in here. And I changed it to like stock LS3, and lo and behold, that was it. That was the issue. Yeah, I need more loom. loomy loom. So you can toss this around back now and plug it in nicely over here. Oh, luckily they have the same connector. Imagine that. Okay, map sensor is good. Throttle body is connected. I can essentially start the car. I think hopefully very soon the blower belt should arrive. I'd like to get all that in, because without the alternator spinning and everything else, it's not going to be close to where it needs to be anyway. Might as well wait, check it all. So, holding pattern till then. Okay, it's hard as hell to see what I'm doing and what I'm about to do, but we'll try to videotape it anyway. Not gonna be able to get a camera in here at all. I can barely get my hands in here. I would need like cameraman Glenn for sure. Just got my belt ready to ship. That's nice. Cut this guy open. We'll see, you know, how it fits. If it does fit. It is quite a event to do this. I only had to do it like once or twice, so. And then I have to manually tension. I have to get a pry bar and some other stuff. And the bolts to tighten the manual tensioner are behind the power steering pulley at one point. It always seems to line up where it's blocking the bolt. So that's another one. But anyway, I got a cheap 79-inch belt. Steven and I pretty much figured out that that would be the winner. About 80 inches, that's what he has on his FX swap. So that's, like I said, I think I explained it before. His FX has thermal plates, mine has adapter plates, roughly the same size. Hopefully it gives us the win. Let's, this goes under here, but on top of here. And I want to put one bolt in and eyeball the rest. Super exciting. I just finished my map sensor relocation. The longer bolt goes in here. Come on. Already nervous. Crazy. Doing stuff wrong. Okay, get a few threads on this one. Leave the bottom one slightly relaxed. That, no. This, I made an ouchie already. Bando rib ace. You ever hear of Bando belts before? Any affiliation? This has got to go around the crank pretty much first. Let me shove my head under here and throw my heat gun across the room. Oh. Is this the point where everything starts to bother you? Yes. Everything's in your way. Finally have your last piece. Alright. This goes around this. Yes, absolutely. This has to go around the alt. Come on. It's a bit tricky. There is not a lot of room. As you might have already guessed, am I pretty much on everything? One last jump back, please. I think, no, that's too far. That's right. This guy is going to go in here. Yes, and this guy is going to go here. Yes. And I mean, if I did everything right, it seems a little loose, which sucks. I gotta get another belt. Can I get it tight enough to start today? This is like a 79.7 inch inside diameter. Let's, the other one, it's close, that's for sure. His thermal plates must be pretty thick. Maybe I should have gone back a little bit. Is this a shorter bolt goes in here? Shorter bolt goes in here. They were starting to thread like immediately. These are both longer bolts. This is the shorter bolt. There's a lot going on. Okay. Actually, that's not terrible. It's close. It's close to being right. It needs to be, it might have to be a 79 flat, like a half an inch, 79.2. Let's just do everything. It goes on a little bit too easy. So I doubt we're going to be able to get the manual tension amount. Maybe we will. Don't know. Mail guy showed up like 3 hours late, of course. Changes the belt routing. So now this bolt is in front of, the belt is in front of my tightening bolt there. The pulleys are in front of the bolt behind the power steering. Maybe I can convince Steven to do like a tensioner on the bottom of the engine. I don't know. Manual tensioner somehow on the bottom. That'd be nice. Maybe he'll come up with something more interesting for the blower guys. What we kind of need is if we can go 8 rib. You need to get an 8 rib crank, 8 rib power steering pulley. I'm sure like a lot of it could get swapped out because the blower has an 8 rib. He puts an 8 rib pulley on it in case you ever want to go 8 rib. Kind of a nice foresight there. In case you already have 8 rib for whatever reason. Spin these guys on. Man, I wish there was room in here to put my zinger in there, but it just doesn't fit. So you gotta suffer through this. Alright, I'm gonna quit burning up tape and tighten this all down and take a look. Alright, this is literally my first startup, which should probably be pretty awful because I changed the injectors, map sensor, put a blower on it. I mean, I changed a lot. So, we'll see what I missed, you know? Probably make me look like an ass. It won't even start. Make me look like a YouTube internet tuner. Key it off. Man, you barely touch it and it makes like 3, 4, or 5 pounds. Curious what it sounds like.